All right, shalom, shalom. We're the Hebrew Israelites coming out here to prophesy day in and day out the downfall of America, which is modern day Babylon, spiritual Egypt, Sodom, uprising of Israel, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, and the hopeful elect, hopeful extended elect. We're going to give all praises to Yahweh. Rakatah Yahweh, Rakatah Yahweh. Double honor to Apostle, Elder Bishop, Great Millstone, my citation, but each word for the hopeful election, elect inside work, with hopeful extended elect, shalom, blessings. Going to get right into it, man. America is the harlot, a boy getting her digits, and that going to lead up to the MOTB, you know, the Mo Beezy, the Mo TBZ. So, you know, let's start with us as Israel, you know, learning a lesson not to go into this harlot. So I think it's in Leviticus, harlot shall burn. You shall burn the harlot. Go ahead, you know. You know, well, it should have it.
My Wi-Fi ain't working good on my phone. So I'm getting it.
Leviticus. This is Leviticus chapter 21, verse 9. And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she profane her father. She shall be burnt with fire.
She shall be burnt with fire, man. You know? So that's what you're supposed to do with a harlot. Burn her with fire. You know? Get that scripture that should not have a whore of the daughter of Israel. You know? So this whore is going to be an example, an overall example, this harlot America, overall example of not to live by. You know? We're not supposed to be, all our women are whores because of this harlot. This harlot produces whores. You know, the only reason our women are whores is there's no supervision, there's no fatherhood, true fatherhood, and they're living under the umbrella of America. You know?
Right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 33 or 23, verse 17. And it reads, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
Of the daughters of Israel. And then you can read in that, that's how you know we still go by the law, because in the New Testament, it says pretty much the same thing. It says, obey your men, calling them Lord as Sarah did, and so shall you be the daughters of Sarah. So that submissiveness of a woman puts her in subjection to the man as a superiority figure, you know, to where everything will run right, man, in the household. So what is America? She's like a rebellious harlot, man. You know? And a harlot, period. You know? Go ahead.
Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel.
Nor a sodomite. You already know what sodomites are, man. You know? Sodomites are bottomites and shit. You know? Power bottom boys and shit. There's no supposed to be that of Israel in the family. What does America produce? Whores and sodomites. What does this imagery Hollywood produce? Like Gabriel Union, that bitch, that slut, Cardi B, same. She cussed out Offset and shit, and like she never knew him before. Like she don't got children with him and shit. You know, a devil ass witch. You know, as well as these other harlots in the industry. But where do they come from? Under the umbrella of America. So America produces harlotry. Them Arabs that come over here from uh, Dubai and all that, and some of these, you know, countries that still kind of got a, perspective of order. They try to escape and come over here to live freedom, and then they turn into whores. They start wearing skinny, tight jeans to show their figure and all that. Start coloring their hair. Start sleeping with different men and shit. So whoredom is on a high, all-time high right now. We don't like whores. We want virgins, man. But you might have, whoredom is, hey, you'll go into prostitution too. Like Gabar said, Apostle Gabar, Salaki, Apostle Gabar. It just means to stand before. So a prostitute stands up on the corner and sells herself. And that's the state of Israel now, selling themselves to America. And that ultimate sale is that MOTP, that purchase. You ain't gonna have to purchase it, but it's a form of submissive purchase, so to speak. Go ahead, what you got? Yeah.
Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 26, verse 22. And harlot shall be accounted as spittle.
Spittle, like you can spit at a whore, man. Most High ain't gonna care about her. Like he ain't gonna be like, you need to apologize like the world be, she didn't do nothing. She's just human, or she's going through hard time. No, she's a harlot, man. Spitter, she's spittle. Nobody cares about spit. Especially if you got a cold and shit. Spit a loogie, you be like, I'm glad that's out of me and shit. Go ahead.
But a married woman,
go ahead,
is a tower against death to her husband.
So a tower against death to her husband, man. So that, man, that lets you know that a harlot gets you killed. That lets you know that these black women will get you killed. That lets you know a woman to get you killed because she has no wisdom. These women are following this suit of America because it comes with money and fame and power and all that, and that's what they're driven toward. It ain't got nothing to do with the man himself. Whoever's in power, that's who they follow. But it was a time when women, think you handsome and you cute. You had that high school puppy love and all that. See, that's where they fell in love with America, puppy love shit. They started getting better housing, civil rights movement, freedom bus riders and shit. And then they kind of growing up with this whore, finding favor with this whore, because now they becoming friends with her. They be like, man, things are really getting better. I could really, see myself in this America prospering and educate my children according to this American status and shit. But those are the philosophies of this whore, the wine of her fornication. So that's why Most High is going to burn this place down. A harlot shall burn. Go ahead.
I got one going into destruction. I wanted to read the NLT couldn't say better.
Yeah, but let's get one more, like a couple. Get a meaning of harlot in the blue letter. See what that says. The blue letter. So you they relate to a Reddit. But let's get the harlot definition first. Because our women make an excuse, and our people make an excuse for harlotism. If that's a word. I don't even think that's a word, but harlotism. Like, man, I gotta sell my box because I got kicked out, I'm homeless, or my man don't love me, or I gotta make money, pay my bills. So there's always an excuse for them for harlotism, just like it is gonna be for this MOTB. Well, what do we gotta do? We gotta eat. I got a whole family. I got a house. I don't wanna lose it. The only way I can keep it is this. No? Go ahead.
I got
Go ahead.
Yeah, oh yeah. This is Harlot and the Strongs, and they got two different pronunciations.
Strong's age 6948.
Kadesha,
Gesenius lexicon. Kadesh.
And it said a female devotee, prostitute, harlot, whore. Strong's definition. So prostitute, whore, a female devotee.
Female devotee, they're devoted to American ways. They're devoted to American fame, entertainment, philosophies, religion. Go ahead.
It said the biblical usage, female temple prostitute, harlot.
Yeah. So, you know, we tell you everything is an act of, what you call it, a transaction. Everything's business. If you lose your job, these women be like giving you 2 weeks, like, damn, you ain't got a job yet. What we gonna do about these bills? Because what it say, without faith, you can't please the Most High. So they don't have faith in their man to come through to figure something out. This is a well together man. He didn't work. He didn't work a couple of years under the belt, paid the rent on time and all that. He's not trustworthy. Go ahead. It say okay.
It just say female temple prostitute.
Yeah.
Harlot.
That's all. Go ahead.
I got a he said Proverbs 6. Proverbs 6. And starting at the 24th verse.
Go ahead, right.
It says Proverbs 26 and I'm selecting Proverbs chapter 6, verse 24. To keep from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of the strange woman.
So it's a learning lesson all through. You can learn from your own woman as well as learning from this American way. She's a harlot. So keep us from the evil woman, man. You know, like, because what do our women do? They get us caught into these American ways and shit. Your woman is the one that tells you to go to church. Your woman is the one that tell you, oh, my baby, he's graduated. He's finally become this and that. Like that's an epitome of knowledge and wisdom and understanding. They ain't got nothing to do. You know, these doctors are killing people in the fucking hospitals. And we know that because, hey, some of the brothers have worked in the we call it those kind of facilities. Go ahead.
Verse 25. Lust not after her beauty.
Lust not after her beauty. You ain't supposed to lust after a woman's beauty. And a lot of these, hey, the most prettiest women are the most hearted out women. Man. They're the most freakiest women and shit. You know? And in America, she's the freakiest woman of all these nations, of all these countries. You come here to get your freak. What they have back in the day, Freaknik, man, had a whole event. They went on yearly. I think they went to 6 months here. You go over there and you get your Freaknik on, freak a nigga. That's what Nick is short for, nigga, freak a nigga. So that's what our people are doing with America. They getting their freak on with America. Go ahead.
So freak said, lust not after her beauty in thine heart.
In thine heart, in your mind. It's a beautiful place to some people. We understand the creation of Most High, yeah, you know, but they polluted it. They polluted the water, sky. You know, you be like, well, let me go out and have a beautiful day, and then you got chemtrails falling on you and shit. You know, or you got a black man in the neighborhood. Let me take a trip out the block, you know, just a joyride. Oh, nigga, what are you doing? You made a left turn and you wasn't supposed to. What? You know, get a black man for anything, man.
You know, Apostle John on Island of Patmos, he seen with the Babylon, American, and which of course was in a form of a woman, and he marveled. And the angel, you know, basically got on him like, what, you know, like, why are you marveling? You know, at this whore. You know, because the whore is beautiful unto him.
Yeah, it tells you about the harlot's eyelids. She bat her eyes.
Yep, that's what it's gonna go.
So they used to be covered up, and all you can see is their eyelids, eyes and shit, and they are talk and communicate through the eyes. You know, that's that third eye, so to speak, of America and shit. That's how she communicate and deceive people and seduce prophets, just like Jezebel. Go ahead.
I said, lust not after her beauty in thine heart. Yeah. Neither let her take thee with her eyelids.
Well, take thee with thine eyelids. They can communicate like that. What is some of the most seductive ways of a woman today? Is you know that men even often mention sometimes their eyelids and shit. Like they be like, cut them damn eyelids, but she bat her eyes at you and take you by her eyelids, man. You know, go ahead.
Yeah,
and that's what America does.
You know, like you go out in public, right? You might be with, you know, whoever, brothers or whoever. You see a couple, you might check that man's woman. She, you know, it happens often. She might be checking you out. You know, she try to be sneaky. Mm-hmm. You know, try to get us, you know, glance at you.
Yeah.
You know, they want to take it. So you know, that's what these whores really doing out here, man. Yeah. It says verse 26.
And like I said, you know, even when a man wants more than one woman, it has to go through his woman for approval. She has to approve it and shit. In this American world, yeah, I got somebody for you, but I like them too. Women ain't supposed to like women. They said all them women supposed to be for that one man. You ain't supposed to be no fucking sharing and shit. Sharing and caring.
My girl got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
What he saying?
All of them are for him. You know? If you think that's being greedy, then you lost already in the battle. You know? We ain't talk about nothing about Solomon's wives interacting with each other on that level and shit. Hell no. You know? We kings and priests. We're gonna kings and priests again. That's all our women and shit. If I want 1,000 women, that's all my women and shit. They ain't your women.
Yeah.
You might have a wife that's over the other women, but you ain't getting with her like me and shit. I'm the prince of power. I get all that. I get all that box. Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Thank you, buddy. It's like all right, this verse.
See, Jacob bowed down his woman, but he won't fuck America.
And this say fuck America. May I add, this is a twofold scripture because it's talking about literally about woman, but it's also talking about, you know, Babylon for their philosophies or whatever. But it says verse 26, it says, "But by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread."
Now, yeah, and what is another word for money? Bread. You bought to your money because it tells you don't spend money and wine with her. Don't spend at the wine with her. You know, Jacob spent all his money for this harlot. You know, and he bought to a piece of bread. Nothing. You know what eats bread, you know, for the fowls and shit. You know, eat your ass up, man. So you know, America's a big ass eagle and eat your ass up as a breadcrumb. So Jake don't know his worth. We're worth more than that, man. Most High say he make us a man more precious than gold. Go ahead. So that's another thing about transactions in business with women, business in this world. You know, you got to know your worth before you deal with somebody and give all your chips and all your money. You know, just for Jake to look good, he'll spend all his money just because it's a what do you call it? It's a fashion statement in America because they be like, well, you got to have the top bins and shit, and to look good to be considered as somebody.
Status.
Yeah, that you be walking like Yahweh Shai. He came on an ass, right? That you be walking in riding on the ass. They'll make fun of you, you know. But yet they say they believe in the Son of God. Now some hypocrites and devils. Go ahead. That was it on that.
Now it was some more. It said, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
No, you skipped the part.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wiping her mouth as she done her.
That's in Ecclesiastes.
Okay. Well, yeah, and it says the same thing, right?
Yeah, that's a problem. Right.
Okay.
Is it? Okay. So
yeah. No, you can read that.
It says,
because there's a scripture that says adulterous woman, she wipeth her mouth.
I thought it was in Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
So it says, an adulterous woman, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life.
Yeah, that's what adulterers do. They hunt for the precious life. They search for men to take their money, take over them, have authority. Go ahead.
It says, can a man take fire in his bosom?
I think that's the point.
Yeah. I think that's, that one y'all talking about, that's Proverbs 30, verse 20.
Proverbs 30, verse 20.
Yeah, that's in Proverbs.
Yeah, you can go there right quick and then we'll get you.
This is Proverbs chapter 30, verse 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
Such is the way of an adulterous woman. Adulterous woman is a woman that have a man and she sleeps around on him. Because you ain't supposed to be with no other men but your men. That's it. Unless he passes away. And still there's an orderly fashion to that. You sleep with a man on the same day your husband passed, they're gonna be looking at you crazy. Like,
it's a mourning process. Yeah. It's a process of mourning because you're supposed to actually love your husband, man.
Yeah.
So it's a process of mourning, and then the Lord will lead you to your next man. That's how that's supposed to work. You ain't supposed to just be jumping around in your mind like, if my husband died, I'm gonna get with this dude.
It ain't stuff the mindset you're supposed to have. Exactly. And it can't be with any man because you're supposed to be under supervision back under your father.
Right now,
you're supposed to mourn back to your father, like, he say, all right, baby, it's all right. You'll find, just have some time or comfort. Because where you gonna get your comfort from? Where do we get our comfort from? Not from this harlot, because the harlot don't give a damn about us. America don't give a damn about us. We get our comfort from our father, man. Right back to him, like, Lord, because the Israel is dead. Our people are dead. They're in a dead state of mind, dead spirit. So we mourn in that way. That we lost everything. We lost our heritage. We're the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So we mourning back to our father. Go ahead.
And she eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness.
Yeah, she eating, wiping her mouth that she done no wickedness. She'll eat at the table. She'll smile with you, laugh with you. And all the time she been bending over for somebody else.
Yeah, man. Sleeping with somebody else and shit.
Yeah. See, and with a harlot, you expect that. And not from your wife. You know what I'm saying? There's harlots of our people. And we like, yeah, she does what she does. That's, we don't even, that's why it says, a lot of times, a lot of harlots should make it in before.
Yep. Because they're going to repent and they're going to get right.
And they're just doing it because they're being true to themselves. They ain't nobody's wife. They just, you know what I'm saying? They just out there. Mm-hmm. They're harlots for real. But you can't be a harlot and a wife at the same time, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women start to prostitute themselves when their husband died. Because they don't want to mess with, they don't want to marry no man to have those emotional feelings with a man like they did their husband. So they'll be like, well, that's why they're quick to say, no, I don't, no strings attached. I ain't getting emotionally attached because I already been heartbroken. My husband died. So this is just for this time. This, a business transaction lasts an hour or something, 2 hours, and I'm out the door. I don't want no connections.
Then you got the ones that's like Eve. Some of these Eve, they like this, one of them, You know, they don't want no man, and they just being harlots because they just want to be wicked, man. Because Esau Edom is giving them the means to be able to own their own businesses, have their own, you know, shit. So a lot of them are like, I don't need no man. Yeah. So you got them type of women too. So you got to, you know, have righteous judgment.
Remember back then they used to have pimps.
Yep.
Now it's they own harlots. They own harlots. Yeah. They don't own prostitutes. They got platforms on OnlyFans page and all that. So they don't need pimps no more because they got these platforms. But what pimps use to keep them in line. I know it's not good for, you know, Israel ain't supposed to be a whoremonger, but they had some kind of order at least. You know what I'm saying?
They had a wicked order, just like Esau.
Wicked order, yeah. You know? So you have to be under some kind of order of supervision. We're under order of America right now, in some ways. You know what I'm saying? We have to abide by certain policies, rules, and all that. You know,
and ultimately it's the Most High, because it talked about he set up the ordinances.
Yeah.
So it's basically he's doing that to set up our punishment under. You know, that's what he set up for us. And so really, it's him running. You know, but he's only giving.
No, because if you got a wife and she connects with somebody and this strange man, and then she been living with him for 3 years and stuff, they got business transactions. They contractually have a relationship. So if you want your wife back, you're gonna have to talk to this dude because she's under his supervision. You go to his house. Where you at? Where you at? You pull up. You on his property. So you got to be kind of negotiable, so to speak, in a way to get your wife back. You know. But I mean, you know, Most High don't have to be negotiable with anybody, but he's showing us the true contractual agreements because we made a contract with the Most High. We made an agreement, a covenant.
He gonna negotiate, all right. He gonna negotiate with missiles.
Yeah, but he's letting us learn that once you make a covenant with somebody, you can't just break that covenant and just leave and get out of it. You gotta go through a process. You know, so just like our people are laying down with America, they got ties with America. Just like these artists and shit. They can't just go, they trying to do their own thing now. Nah, you sign us a contract by blood or whatever, by ink or whatever. You said you're going to be under our contract in a record company and you owe us this amount and this performances and concerts. You can't just go out there. We'll go look for you and arrest your ass. So now, you know, we're coming under the spirit of Yahweh Yahushai. We're telling America we're free now. They be like, how is that? We own you. We got your ID. We like, fuck that, because what did Paul say? I'm a free man. Yahushua said, you are free indeed if you're free in me. So we don't, Most High breaking all that shit down, all those contracts, all those, and keep going. Now we're in a spiritual agreement with the Most High. Coming out highways, teaching His word. It ain't no paper contractual paper thing like it was back in the days of Moses. So that's what they don't understand, and they confused about that. Well, like these rats say, how can you be from Jerusalem? You ain't got no birth certificate. You ain't got no proof of shit. This is a spiritual thing, you devils. We don't need to be born from Jerusalem. We got scattered across the world. The Most High said, I'm going to gather you from all the corners of the earth. And the gathering is taking place by the spirit of the Most High. God's being on the highways and byways. And pretty soon it's going to be with them chariots.
It's a people before a place.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If a Chinese was come to America, he's not American. They're gonna call him American Chinese or something. But he's still, his birthright is still in China. And shit. He's still his own people. That don't change him into an American. He's China, a Chinese man living in America.
Yep.
You know? Go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 7, verse 10. And it reads, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot.
Yeah, with the attire of an harlot, you know. And you can't tell these days whether these women are harlot or not, because everybody wearing booty shorts and, you know, got their titties out. Even wives and shit. Been married to a man for 2 or 3 years and she got her titties and ass out. You like, well, shit, I thought you was out here to get, you know, look for shit, man. But you got a husband? Damn. Go ahead.
And subtle of heart.
Subtle of heart. Go ahead.
Verse 11, she is loud and stubborn.
Loud and stubborn, like, hey, you know, and we talk about the black woman because she's kind of like going back to Eve. She's the mother of all living. So by the nursing system of our heritage, whether it be destroyed or whether it be intact, it's kind of like, well, yeah, okay. So you now you got the woman is order, so the whole world, the whole nation must be in order.
Yeah, and this is like like Paul was saying, like this is kind of twofold scripture. Yeah, it's kind of going into it could go into a woman, but it's really talking about America, Babylon the Great. This is how this place is, man.
And we're supposed to be a reflection. Are we supposed to be the top nation, and we supposed to be teaching how it's supposed to go with these countries, man.
Yep.
Like America's supposed to be following us, not us them. So it kind of starts with us first, and then but now we're in a low state and nobody cares about us. Now America's on top. Man, America's the big the spotlight woman and shit. But we supposed to be that, man. She's the salt of the earth to them now. She's the go-to woman. I want to go to America. Everybody want to go to America. They used to say that about Israel. That's why it says it has is this the city, the city they call the city of peace, the city of peace. Talking about Israel. But now America's the city of peace and the city of beauty, so-called, in the minds of people, Go ahead.
Verse 11, she is loud and stubborn.
Loud and stubborn. That's all you hear about America. Loud and stubborn, talking shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's what Trump been doing every day.
She's been, out of all these nations, she's the first one to say,
talking shit.
Fuck them. Let's put tariffs on them. Let's put this and that on them.
Yep.
Won't close them out. We'll bomb anybody that steps in our way. And we're a Christian country. Guess what? They talk much shit.
And that's why Eve like that, because she's seeing the ones that's giving her all the bread act like that. So most Eves are acting like that, man. Just all loud and obnoxious. And then you got some of them talking about now they ready to settle down. Well, a lot of them is too late, man.
And they only saying that because they're taking away all the benefits.
Because they take away all the benefits. So now it's like you ain't really sincere, man. You don't really you don't really give a fuck.
That's why That's why the Most High said, hey, Most High tested Job, his integrity. Like, if that was a woman, what the woman said to Job, like, curse the Most High, and you know what I'm saying? And then Job said, will we not receive evil for this? You know what I'm saying? And they're going to do that with the MOTB. Why don't we just take it? It ain't nothing but it's a little device in your hand. You know what I'm saying? We get benefits. We get housing and all that.
Yeah,
they're going to say the same shit.
And that's the integrity, that's why Job represents the elect, because he had that integrity to tell his wife, like, what you think you just going to get good from the Lord? You ain't going to receive no evil for the things you done wrong? Like, you got to go through trials and stuff too. Yeah. And Job was an upright man. He didn't really even do nothing for a lot of that stuff that he got his way. A lot of that stuff he didn't even deserve, man. But it said he eschewed evil. He hated evil, man. And the Lord still put him through things as if he was numbered with the transgressors, man. Just like Yahushua. So that's just something that we all got to face. We all going to get certain things that happen to us. And really, some of that stuff we didn't even deserve. But it did say the Lord didn't punish us as much as he could have. He did give us mercy. So that's just where the humbleness comes. Yeah. Where that we really could have got dealt with worse than this, man.
And we could have been done away forever.
Forever, man.
He didn't have to bring us back.
He didn't have to bring us back at all.
Go ahead.
Her feet abide not in her house.
Yeah, but she's a busy woman and shit. That's the state of America. She's always in another country and shit.
Fucking with they shit. Always destabilizing that shit, man. What I'm saying?
Always searching for the resources in another country, the gold, the oil and all that,
Yep.
And that's the same thing with a woman. She's always busybody. Another man, all these rumors are started by women.
And people know that America's like that, because I seen a little meme, they do the little memes. They had one of them that was supposed to be a joke. That was like, America found hell. There's a whole bunch of oil down there. And it showed this eagle. This motherfucker looked at the camera like, we got to go save hell. Right? That's what they did in Afghanistan. We're going to pull up over there, we got to save Afghanistan. No, y'all motherfucker ass ain't. Y'all went over there and took all the fucking oil, man.
Yeah, Iraq too. They did that in Iraq.
Yeah, man.
Who was that? Saddam Hussein.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about like he's a what do they call it?
Weapons of
Tyrant.
destruction.
He's a tyrant, and
Yeah.
you know he's making people jump off of ledges into their death and shit. Lied on the man. Now I mean, if that's his operation, that's them. You know, Most High don't care about these other nations and shit. He ain't checking on. He already got the program. He ain't checking on Russia like that. Russia's already doing what he wants them to do.
Yep.
He ain't checking like, oh, I gotta see what. Oh, Russia, you ain't supposed to be doing that, Russia. Go ahead.
But that scripture goes on paraphrasing, but it goes in the Lord said rulers of all these other nations.
Yeah.
But Israel is the Lord's portion.
Exactly.
So the Lord worrying about Israel. He ain't worried about somebody.
Yeah. He ain't worried about it.
That's why it says the rod is on the Most High. The rod is on Israel because of our iniquity. Therefore, I will punish you for your iniquity. Go ahead.
Verse 12. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner.
Yeah, and that's what America. That's why you have harlotry in America, because America's a harlot herself. She's out on the streets, kind of like with these other nations, trying to do business and shit. And hi, and showing her tail and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got goods too, but then her goods is running out. She's an old harlot now. Bitch is like, you gonna get a 100-year-old harlot and shit? You want a young, pretty ass, bubbly, fun harlot? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, of course, America, you know, they got all these rules that they're not biblical and they twisted, but you know, fairly good looking younger female. Not too young. We ain't talking about no molestation shit. Go ahead.
No, this think of harlots and women, like, you know, Jay, we talk about cars, you think about mileage. Like a lot of these women out here got high mileage, but they like that a brand new car off the lot. And it makes sense why you see the state, how the woman be acting and like that. They be telling bros, like, don't be worried about how these women, because like these women are influenced by the way America promotes, which to be a whore, be whatever, hey, you can have 4 or 5 baby dads and still act like,
you know, and Jake getting tired of it, you know. Shalom, brothers and sisters on the convoy, Shalom, y'all about Shemana Shai, Shemana Kakadash, fucking thought. And Jake is getting tired of it. I didn't see comments on the board where Jake is getting tired of these women naked and showing their ass. They getting tired of America. Like America showing her ass all the time and shit. Like, sit down. Like you ain't popping no more. You're not popping come from popular. You ain't popular no more. Jake is trying to leave and go to overseas, passport buzzers and all that. They rather be in Korea. They rather be in China. They rather be in Dubai and shit. These women are going to Dubai and shit. I thought this was the golden land, the golden city.
And they end up finding out they go over there, they getting shitted on.
Yeah, so they ain't got no place to go now.
You got no place to go.
You know
You might as well just stay in your little post.
But that's what
shit.
That's what's happening to America. She ain't got no place to go. The nations will stop dealing with that shit. Like, we don't want your business here. You old crusty harlot and shit.
And like I said, you know, American Babylon the Great owe $8 trillion to basically everybody over there in the East, man. And it's really becoming a problem because they still trying to talk about they want to own Canada. They want to own different regions in the East, man. And they like not having that, man. They're not having it.
And what America won't tell you, she been on her knees. She been getting her knees dirty, giving head to all these nations. She ain't telling nobody. You know? Go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 47, verse 8. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures.
You giving the play, it ain't nothing but parties in America. It ain't nothing but, you know what I'm saying? Imagine you having a wife and she's liking to party and shit. You be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I gotta work. Okay, but I'll go by myself. What? What did it say? What did Beyonce say? Ladies, leave your man at home. How dare you say that shit? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Who are you to have authority to say leave the man at home and shit? You know what I'm saying? But this is a party city. They got a store called Party City.
It shut down.
Oh,
Party
okay,
City
yeah,
shut down.
yeah. Party City shut down. Remember all the great things and life in America back in the we had that Blockbuster and shit.
Yep.
You should have the what is that, Chuck E. Cheese and type of all that shit.
And they tried all types of ways to party, man.
Yeah.
They had this place. Remember City Walk?
City
Yeah,
Walk.
Remember
City
City Walk? Yeah.
Dave
City
and
Walk.
Buster's.
And in City Walk, they had part of it country, part of it hip hop, part of it had Latino in it. You know what I'm saying? You know, had just like 4 or 5 different sections, just all different type of music, man. You can walk through the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
That shit started getting shot up. You can't mix everybody together like that, man.
Then you had weekend parties, but now the parties are every day and shit. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday. That place we went to the lounge, but it was a more chill, chill spot,
Yeah, you know, we went to go, you know, do our little business, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we got the little
Wasn't
side business.
wasn't no crazy ass shit. But
Yeah,
still,
you know, that's
yeah.
how they do, man.
Go ahead.
So that dwelleth carelessly, that says in thine heart,
You say in your mind, in your heart, go ahead.
I
am, and that when they had the I am thing. Even when Jay-Z came out, I am. I think that was one of his title albums.
Yep.
They started saying, "Oh, Nas,
Yep.
I am."
Yo Gotti was doing that too.
Yeah,
Yo Gotti.
Yo Gotti was doing that too.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm him. Jay said I'm him.
Yeah. You ain't you. I mean, you ain't I am. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't even his name. It's Yahweh. Yahweh Shai, his son.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And none else beside me.
Man, she trying to think like the Most High. Yep. There's no beside. It's like you imagine your woman telling everybody that, and she got a husband at home, and she's bragging to everybody like, like, what about me? I'm the man of the house. What about me?
Pay the electric bill. What the hell is this going on in that motherfucker, man?
And you check her and shit. I heard you saying I am and all this. Hey, that's just show for them. Like, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
You ain't just kidding. You really, she really getting that fame that real, that she's really feeling herself. The me, they had the me generation. Me. And that's what these women are about. Me. They got 100,000 pictures on IG and shit. Of them, and they'll show a picture on Dubai, and they're like, they won't show them part where they getting shitted on. They'll show that other part, like they having fun and shit. Hey, put those pictures up too. Yeah, go ahead.
I shall not sit as a widow.
I should not sit as a widow. See, and then your woman's supposed to have a morning, and she be like, "Nah, I ain't no widow. Don't call me that. I saw your funeral, your husband. So what? I never cared about him anyway. They dog their husband and shit. America dog these other nations. They dog. She dogs her parents. She dogs Britain. You came out of Britain, man. How you gonna dog it? And so she's a rebellious harlot, that used to be a teenager and snuck out the window, so to speak. Got this place by murder, and you know what I'm saying? Of course, they all a part of it. I'm just saying, I'm just using a layman term. And then now she's old and shit, and still trying to floss her old crusty ass, wrinkled ass, and then now she's filtering herself through AI. You know what I'm saying? To make herself still look beautiful, but we see all through that shit. Most High got us our spiritual glasses on, to where we like that's an old harlot y'all fucking with, right? What do you mean? Take off the filter, take off the makeup, take off this shit. That's the same thing us spirit of our women are in, man. With the IG, they got on makeup and shit, filtered and all that. They got makeup to make them look they young again and shit. Like,
I had this one woman. Neither shall I know the loss of children.
Yeah, she don't believe she's gonna have a loss of children. Just like she believes this place is gonna prosper, generation after generation. Like I said, they think their houses end with thoughts. They think their houses continue forever. It's not. It's gonna be cut off. Go ahead.
Yeah, what do you say? I should be a lady forever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the same.
And like Saquon was saying, I wanted to mention when he was talking about how they using them filters. They had one chick, she used it in like a sense like trying to make herself look like she had Down syndrome to get paid more. So America does that too, man.
GoFundMe and all that.
Yeah, they America, they kind of have that mindset too to try to trick you into feeling sorry for them and stuff, man. So I said, don't help a sinner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And people are really saying themselves out of their own mouths, they don't know the difference between AI and the real.
How you gonna claim you got Down syndrome, you in a damn bikini and shit? The damn filter on your face. You gotta be ashamed of your fucking self, man. Verse 9, but these two things shall come in a moment, in one day.
One day, go ahead.
The loss of children, and widowhood.
Man. You know? So, even the model of this American system that these women follow, a lot of them don't care about their own children, just like America doesn't. You know what I'm saying? But, the loss of children, too, is her controlling these people. Like, the more that gathers under her for her control, she the more she feels like, I'm doing something, you know what I'm saying? Still sucking from America's titties. And she's like, I'm in control. You'll have a woman that don't have power, but she'll have a child just so she could be an authority figure over that child. Because she don't have a man. They want authority some kind of way. Either it's a platform or being a mother over these children. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take the low somewhere in life, man. Where the fuck is the low with these women? America has never been submissive. She ain't never took an L and shit. She's like, oh shit, nah, we are fucking American shit. And she's a woman. You ain't even a man. Your military is filled with women and sodomites. If you was a figure of real men and fatherhood, you wouldn't have that in your military. Or even running these streets. Or even having a woman to compass a man. You'll have a problem with that. Now Trump is trying to say, oh, well, a man is a man and a woman is a woman. You've been president before. You didn't ever change the shit then.
Yeah, and even when they do say that, they still have these big old pride parades and Pride Month. And so even though they say, oh yeah, man is man, woman, you can still dress like a woman and be a damn man. So it didn't really change.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it didn't change nothing. It's still unethical. It ain't got nothing to do with the Most High.
That's why they getting exposed. Oh, go ahead.
They shall come upon thee in their perfection.
Go ahead.
For the multitude of thy sorceries.
Hey, it's using sorcery, man. Even with our women being seduced by America or influenced by America, you got influencers out there. They use witchcraft. They use voodoo. They use another thing they use. These stars too. Erica Badu said, out of her own mouth, she says, I'm a witch. And then they asked her about Beyonce. She said, she's a different witch. But remember that neo soul shit when she was talking about my brothers and this and that and word rap and all that. You know what I'm saying? What happened to that shit? Now she's showing her ass in the video. You know what I'm saying? It's all going to hell.
And that's how America is. Like you said, back to your eyelids to try to draw you in. And that's what they did. They used all these stars. They had them, with morals and had them with upright virtue. And then as you start to like them, it gradually turns you into this whore, man. That's what they did to them.
Even the so-called strong men in the industry got something to say and bold and gangsters and thugged out. Now they pretty boys. They sodomites and shit.
Yep.
And also you just mentioned something just a second ago about we was talking about the grooming and the conditioning and shit.
Gradualism and
gradualism and shit. And then America, they'll make people think they was founded on Christianity. So you can imagine them having a head wrap on and shit. You can go into the 60 pictures and their women wear dresses and shit and had their head covered and shit. Working, but what happened to that? Now everybody's just butt naked. Oh, flock it.
No, you did. Sorry.
Is that your?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Now everybody's naked. You got naked nude beaches and all that. You got slut walking, all that. You know what happened to all that? It was a front, man.
Yep.
It wasn't really real in the first place, man.
And even in the courthouses, you know how they would make you put your right hand on the Bible. They don't really do that no more.
Yeah,
they don't do that no more. They
it's
just
not
call
even the
you up
Bible.
there.
It's the cover of the Bible, but inside is the witch is full of spells and witchcraft.
Yeah, they don't even do that either.
Yeah.
You know, but at first when they started out, you know, they had that and they was more talking about the Most High or whatnot, like they moon. And now they got, even in some of the courthouses, they got the satanic Baphomet at the bottom on the plaque. You know, and stuff like that, man. We seeing all kinds of stuff like that in the judge houses. So that was on both sides, not just Hollywood, but also in the courthouse.
Yeah. Okay. What did it say? There was Trump implementing religion in schools now, Bible in schools. Well, after all this wickedness, what is that going to do?
Nothing.
You know what I'm saying? Get the hell out of here, man. Like, you can't fool the Most High, man.
They even got AP classes over here in Oklahoma, which is like, you know, advanced classes. And they trying to teach the Bible in the ESV version, the English Standard Version. Okay, because they want to build up these little Christians who try to start coming against the truth, man. Because it's disturbing. They you know, little normal wicked ass life, man. Because they know the judgment's coming on their ass.
Oh yeah, and remember in the industry they used to thank God when they won a war, but you know they were really thanking the devil, because the Most High is not for that. He's not for none of that Hollywood bullshit. None of that, man. I don't know what God y'all serve. Well, we know what God y'all serve. Go ahead.
And for the great abundance of thine enchantments.
Hey, and go to that scripture right quick. It says no enchantment works against Jacob. It ain't talking about you niggas, man. Because y'all get fooled by these enchantments and shit. Y'all get fooled by this woman red light. That's witchcraft. That got to do with blood and sorcery, and even on the Sabbath day, sex on the Sabbath. That's witchcraft, man.
That's why I said not all of Israel is Israel, man.
Yeah.
When it talks about that enchantment not working on, that's talking about the elect, man.
Yep, that's talking about the elect, man. Because hey, all them other jakes falling for this shit. They gonna fall for the AI. They gonna fall for the MOTP. Go ahead.
This is Numbers chapter 23, verse 23. Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob.
Surely there's no enchantment against Jacob, so-called Black Latino name makers of the elect. The enchantment, get that word enchantment too, right there. Because you chant, like when they, you know, when the basketball game, you chant, you know, and then you get it. And what do? They do that to get into the enemy's head that they playing against. You know what I'm saying? And like when you get a free throw and shoot that free throw, mess you up.
And that's a serpent mindset. You know what I'm saying? That's a serpent mindset. Even when you look up that word serpent in Genesis, it says to practice divination, soothsaying. Yeah. You know, that's their methods. That's why the Lord said, you know, basically he's teaching us to be wise as a serpent. Because this is kind of us chanting Esau.
On the righteous side. On the righteous side.
We chanting them like
just
they,
like
hearing this,
just like the walls of Jericho, you know.
Yep.
We went around there until the walls of Jericho fell, man.
Yep.
This is Jericho all over again in a spiritual way. Yep. Go ahead with the enchantment word.
It says a feeling of great pleasure.
But you in the blue letter?
I mean, I get it.
Go ahead.
The word is I want to say laws.
Psalms 8:39-08.
Lahash. And it say properly a whisper by implication in a good sense.
Oh wait, hold on. It says whisper, right? But what did it say about it says whispers in the scripture? They you know, they whisper at you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's another scripture too. On the right spiritual side, it says, "You shall hear a whisper."
You're saying go there.
So Most High got that on the right hand side, but it's whispers and enchantments and voices that you hear people in people's head on the left hand side. So those are voices in their head. Like you know, you join the industry, you got platinum album, you sitting next to somebody and shit, you drunk and stuff, and somebody whispering, you know, this party is. Hey, don't lose your step in this industry, man. Yeah. Get all you can and shit.
Yeah,
Diddy, he be whispering in people's ears all the damn time and shit.
They even had that one song. Remember that one song? Hey,
Yeah, that's when you're
He ain't
twins.
I hate that damn song, man. Who want to listen to a fucking man whispering and shit?
The whole song he whispered. They whispered.
Yeah, man, I don't want to hear no fucking man.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I talked about Esau, Edom, and these other nations. They clap at us, man. It's like they kind of mock us and they try to do it subliminally, man. You know? And that's basically us when we do this doctrine and we teach this word. That's like kind of us mocking them subliminally because they don't get it. It said the wicked shall not understand. Yeah, right. They don't get it, man. They like, man, whatever, man. That's why they ain't making it a big deal. If they really got what we were saying, man, it'd be a riot over here. It'd be people running us up against the wall and shit. We wouldn't even be able to teach, man.
That's Most High calming that beast.
Calming that beast.
Leveling that beast out.
Yep.
You know?
It said we would be in league with the beasts of the field. That's how it is right now. That's why, you know, they can't really come at us because it's not their time yet, man.
You just hit a point. You said if they knew what it was doing, what's that one scripture said? If they knew the truth, they wouldn't slay like Yahweh. They knew like the lamb, like they knew like how significant everything was going on.
Paul said in 1 Corinthians 2nd chapter.
They knew
if they knew they wouldn't have
crucified Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have did it. They would have stepped back, man. They don't know what they doing, man. They don't know what they do. The Lord got them in strong delusions right now, man.
They got a phrase. You know? They got a phrase called "If you knew better, you would do better."
Just like I was reading yesterday, and when I got off the plantation in Isaiah the 19th chapter, it said that they had fear. They had fear when they heard us talking about this because the counsel of the Lord, man, the Lord of hosts, which, you know, Lord of armies. That's Juan always mentions, you know. So we know that they're afraid of us, but that's why they don't really want to come at us.
Yeah, exactly. Continue to put that pride in their heart. Because then they see us and they be like, oh shit. But then they'll go back to they mechanism, they science and shit, and they get pumped back up. That's what they do to these celebrities. When they go sleep with a goat and shit, and they get filled all, you know, fuck, you know, and they say, no, you're Jay-Z, get out there. They pump them back up and shit. Yeah. Get out there, you're the most popular rapper. Nobody could touch you. Nas, get back out there and shit. And then they, you know, they be like, okay, shit, yeah, I gotta, nah, you didn't fuck the goat. Go ahead.
Rest of that word, it say that private prayer in a bad one. It's a charm.
Charm, like what it say? Who shall pity a charmer when he's getting bitten by a serpent? You can't charm this American system, man. This system is serpentine, man. No, you can't make a crooked thing straight. Most High made this movie. This is his movie, man. Like Avatar when he said, "This is our land." You know what I'm saying? Most High said, "We said this is Most High's movie." Go ahead.
It said biblical usage. It say whispering, charming, serpent, charming, amulet worn by women like the amulets.
Yeah, get that scripture that says whisper. I think it's in Apocrypha. Just put in whispers and that should pop up. KJV. There's something about whispers. But see, when you whisper to somebody, what do y'all think about? When somebody whispers to somebody, secret. So what the Most High said, his secrets with his saints. So he got whispers too. You know? That whisper the Holy Spirit to you, like, look, this is the MOTB. Look, this is the this is the America's the Harlot. Look, this is the beast. This is the dragon.
Telling you all the nations.
Yeah.
Telling you what America represents. You know, revive Rome. You know, those are whispers. You know, those are ancient. Dark sayings, man, that have not been revealed, man, for years. Man.
It said he's revealing his secrets into his prophets and servants. Nobody, you know, that's a secret. And it says Deuteronomy 29:29, I think it is. He said the secret things belong to the Lord, but the secret things he revealed to us belong to us and our children forever. So he's sharing secrets forever. He ain't gonna tell these other nations who they are. He told us who they are before they knew who they are, man.
And you got to think about it. Without the internet, the Lord making the internet, it'd be so many less people who will understand this, man.
Yep.
so many less people because it would be so much less access to it. So that's why a lot of people look at it as like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? They just teaching online. Yeah. Wait till the Lord cut the internet off, man.
Yeah.
You wait till he cut this off, man.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna understand shit out here, man.
The famine, the word. Because no, it's just like anything that's readily accessible, it seemed deemed like, I can get that. But like you said, when it cut off, then they shall be seeking that word. Like, what's going on? That knowledge. Wisdom, knowledge shall be stability. Like,
Go ahead. Well, it's gonna go back to the days of old when was that Samuel was on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
He said at that time that the word was precious. You know, it wasn't out there. So like it wasn't, accessible. You know?
It said people gonna be searching for wine and all that. Like and you just said, what did you just say about
the vocabulary?
No, you said something else.
Radio accessible, radio.
Said something about
wisdom, knowledge should be stability.
Yeah, we were talking about something. A key point here, which, but we were talking about going back to the days.
You said the days of old.
The days of old.
Oh,
you said the word was precious.
We'll get it.
Spirit moving on.
Yeah. It's all good, man. Oh, I got a scripture. That's what you.
That one.
It's really a couple of them. Did you find one in the pocket?
What's the one?
Yeah. Yep. That's one of them. I think it's another one too. That's one.
All right. So Ecclesiasticus, the book of Sirach, chapter 28, verse 13. Curse the whisperer, and double-tongued.
Yeah. And also, I'm trying to. It's coming back to me, but also,
there you go.
Also, too, this is not it, but also, when you people will start instigating stuff through whispering, like rumors and shit. So they'll be double-tongued because they'll tell somebody one thing and tell somebody another thing and shit. Oh yeah, we was going to the secrets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
The Most High shares secrets with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we got Most High give us secrets that we only supposed to know. So he whispers to us as in the Holy Spirit, you know.
He also said there are certain secrets that were his, that he'll never whisper. You know, so the ones that we were given, it was for us to be able to understand how to obtain the correct opportunity for salvation. That's why everything we used to talk about pertains to salvation. Those are the secrets that were revealed. He said those are for us. So those things, we want to make sure that we got instilled in us.
Oh yeah,
because it's what belongs to us.
Yeah, come on. And that's what we're going to. Like the confounding of the language in Tower of Babel.
Mm-hmm.
Language is a spirit too. So these people are getting confounded because they don't understand our language. We're speaking a whole different language. Like they ain't even they ain't gonna understand each other either because all these people are broken up in different philosophies and all that. So they gonna be like, yeah, I don't know about that atheist shit. But the atheist gonna be, I don't know about that Mormon shit. And the Mormon gonna look at it's all confounded languages.
Yep, and it's a such thing as body language. So when they see us out here with garments on and all that, they don't understand what that is. Yeah. Even though they be like, oh yeah, that's the Hebrew Israelite. That's as far as it goes, man. They don't really know.
It's a code.
They don't really understand like what the hell are they doing, man.
Hey, that's heavy because Yahshua said that same.
Yeah, they don't. Like, what are they doing, man?
They only see the surface, but
they don't understand that this is judging the earth. This is court right now, man.
What did it say? He
speaks to understand that, man.
He speaks to his prophets, his servants, and that's a language, man. And they don't understand the language. And they never will, because it's not given to them.
You understand, this time right now, we doing is being recorded in history forever. What we doing right now, this is the only thing that's going to be recorded. Everything else is going to be on fire in this motherfucker. Yeah, man. Like
I said. Go ahead.
And you remember, me and you had that talk about how what we doing right now, it may not seem like it, but what we doing right now, in everybody's eyes, like, man, it's significant.
Yeah.
But what we doing right now is the only thing that's gonna matter. You know,
we rolling
in the
out
kingdom to the kingdom.
We rolling out the holy carpet for your house shot, man.
You know?
That's basically what we doing. We making sure everything look right before you get here.
If you really realize, you go back to history, go back to these colleges, go back to the school and church. When you was sitting in there, and you remember sitting in there, they wasn't making no damn sense. They wasn't making no damn sense. God so loved the world. Well, what about the world loving the Most High? Because he said he loved him, those that love him. They don't love the Most High. Because if they did, they would follow his commandments. If they did, they wouldn't have crucified his son. Oh, go ahead.
Now you speaking about, because I made a live stream, you know, when you go live and say, is this made for children tonight? And I was thinking, like, if we speaking about the Lord, why is that a question? Is this made for children? The Lord look at us as children, and they say, train up the child in the way he should go. So it's like, now all of a sudden it's an urge to trying to teach them the truth when it's like, you're supposed to teach a child
Just when they like
to be adult.
And it's a good point, because a lot of our people, as parents, they like, well, he don't know nothing yet. Like they said, let a child pick what sex he is. You know what I'm saying? And you're supposed to train them not to be that way and shit, dumbasses. You're supposed to train them not to be a sodomite. Train your daughter not to be a whore, because there's whoredism out there. There's seduction of spirits out there. So that's foul and corrupt, man. And like you said, you grow up a child, and the way they should go is they should not depart from me, paraphrasing. But was we ever taught how to conduct ourselves as men and women in the churches, in the schools? No. We was just learning they fucking bullshit. And then you go out there and look at your neighbor and like, yeah, I'll shoot my neighbor, because you don't never know how to treat your neighbor and shit. You know? Because they never teach that. Talking about social studies, that you don't know, nobody know how to talk no more. Man, a man don't even know how to talk to a woman. A man ain't supposed to be intimidated by a pretty woman, man. That's supposed to make him more even excited. Like, yeah, I gotta talk to her. Let me go talk to her. I got a man. Okay, cool. That's it. Oh, I'm scared. I don't know if she have a man or not. The fuck out of here. Go up there and find out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And you know, Zaquan, you know, he got a good point on that, you know. And you know, it's still like that's a lot of times why we don't do it too, is just because some of these women be lying like a mother. Yeah. And like you said, it's usually the most prettiest ones. So you know, back then we could do that. You ain't supposed to be nervous about it, but like women back then, when you was like, hey, you got a man, they would be honest. Yeah. You know? But now, like Saquon said, you gotta be a little bit like careful, because you mess around, go try to talk to a
you gotta be wise about it.
Yeah, you gotta be wise about it, because you go talk to a woman and she they live in the spur of the moment. They'll be like, I got a man, but he pissed me off yesterday, so I'm gonna go ahead and tell him I don't got a man. Yep. And then you over here chilling with it, and then somebody pull him, shoot your ass. Yep. You know? So yeah, that's how America is, trying to act like she ain't been sleeping around and shit.
Yeah. And like we said, like we have that analogy of,
you gotta be careful.
Or that thing about when they go to the grocery store with their man and shit, they separate.
Yeah, they separate. And then when they come back to the counter, then he just pull up out of nowhere. Hey, babe, she got booty shorts on. Yeah. All that shit. Like,
you didn't talk to her already, and then man come up like, I didn't know she was. You know,
that's why when a lot of these women that dress like that, it's best to just don't even try, because they on some bull biggie.
And you know, we got testimony. Remember, we was in the what store was that? Walmart. Yeah. I was sitting up. I seen a look. You know, what she appeared to be an Edomite. You know, I went over there, opened up my damn mouth.
Yeah, I said, come on up over here.
But Bud say, come on up. He go like this. Come on. I say, let's get on. And then I didn't realize he didn't say that until we kind of walked out. He like, you see, you know that her man was across the way, right? So I look back, I like, damn. Next thing I know, now here they come walking together. Yeah. I said, man,
that's how he just, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be circumspect. Just
wait a minute,
see what's going on, man.
And Jake, I'll get back to the say nothing. But Jake go to a club, and that was back then anyway. But he go to a club, and he go to talk to a woman. But Beyonce said, "Ladies, leave your man at home." So she gonna have a man still go to the club. and talk to a man.
That's what I'm saying. That's why that's really not as applicable as it used to be. That's why that nervousness is there.
Yeah.
Because the Lord's that spirit of conviction in you to be like, man, I don't want to be wrong with the Heavenly Father, you know.
And I meant the 2/3 though. 2/3.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to talk to women no more.
Yeah.
We know what it is because we use wisdom.
Yeah.
But it's a nigga that, you know, he still think like the world. She still think like the world. But he won't go and talk to us. Go ahead.
For such have destroyed many that were at peace.
Many at peace. Go ahead.
Verse 14, a backbiting tongue have disquieted many.
Because what a woman's supposed to be a pillar of rest, right? America ain't no pillar of rest for nobody. She's a fucking burden.
Yeah, hell yeah, it's a damn burden.
Man, wake you up at 4 o'clock in the morning with all kind of bullshit.
And you got these people, they want to disassociate themselves from the actual mess that we in and be like, well, you just want to wake up and think positive. Like, yo, weak ass, man, come on, man. You know we in some shit right now. We in the belly of the beast, man. Yeah. You want to act like you in all good? Stay your ass right here then. Yeah. Stay your ass here then.
Burn with the harlot. Go ahead.
And driven them from nation to nation.
Driven them from nation to nation. Go ahead.
Strong cities have pulled it down and overthrown the houses of great men. Mm-hmm. Great men. Yeah. So if we don't even know who we are back in the reincarnation, we got to really be careful because we don't know if we was great or not. And we just know for now we just teachers.
And this is a harlot that got military might. This is a harlot that got a financial power. Yeah. This is a harlot that got the power of magician ways in her hand and shit.
Yep.
You know, like I said, even with the damn radio and shit, that's all you hear about is adultery and perverseness and shit. And it's only with our people and shit. It's only with our people. Fuck this nigga, fuck that nigga, fuck that bitch, and you know, I'll slob on your knob and all that shit. Like, what the fuck is going on with Jay?
And that trick, like Daquan said, that trickery, man. Yep. Just like when you read about Troy, they entered into the city trying to act like they was gonna give them gifts, and then they came out that big ass damn statue and killed everybody, man. That's how America does stuff, man. They real sneaky with it. They try to make it seem like they rocking with you. Mm-hmm. They'll throw you a couple little things, and then they'll get you, man.
Even it's not all subject, but we talking about turkey. Even the sports betting, all that stuff is rigged.
It's rigged, man.
And you know this all subject, but it's not because sports bets are a big thing right now. So Oklahoma City led the game, the whole game. 0.3 of a second, Indiana came back. Yep. Everybody had their money on Oklahoma. Yep. The last second, Vegas won. Cause they just like
it's taking their money.
It's politics, man.
Yep.
You know, because you will build up a team so high that people will be like bringing their bets to it, and then be spending more money because they be like, oh shit. And next thing you know, you'll drop that team, and then the money.
And like people like Jay-Z, like they talking about he put $1 billion that Oklahoma will win the championship, right? Well, what if they said we'll pay you $5 million if you put $1 million down, so we can make everybody bet on Oklahoma and then lose? Then they gonna make $50 million. Yeah. That's how that shit work, man. That's why we don't do no bets and shit. Yeah. We ain't betting on nothing but Yahaba Shema Shot, man. We ain't doing none of that shit.
We putting all our chips in the bag.
We putting all our chips on
Yahweh was shot. What did Shaq say lately? He said something.
75 million, and he rather had 75 million in Oklahoma than LA.
Yep. And I was like, man, get the
everybody on the Oklahoma train.
Stay the fuck away from us, man. Let us just be broke Jakes out here, man.
Yeah, you know,
rich motherfuckers, stay the fuck out there, man.
They doing something here too.
Yeah, they trying to.
They doing that $1 billion industry. I mean that entertainment.
And that's the reason why they probably gonna let them win if they do win. If they do win, it's because they want to build that $1 billion revenue down here, so they want to bring attraction to Oklahoma. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Snoop Dogg just bought a mansion here.
So a lot of things going on.
Yeah, man. Yeah, go ahead.
This is Isaiah 40:71. The subtitle said, "The Most High judgment upon Babylon. Come down and sit in the dust, confusion." You was talking about all this Babel, and that makes sense. You said earlier, like you was talking about, like this person believing Allah, this person Buddha. Then when that time really mattered, who's the one to lead? Who's, you know what I'm saying? It's all the confusion.
Neither one of them have a prophecy. Neither one of them have nothing to do with everybody going whatever you think is going on, man.
So when they come down and sit in the dust, old virgin daughter of Babylon.
Virgin daughter of Babylon, man. And we kind of related to layman terms that this place has never been penetrated. She's a young harlotry type of woman that still got youthfulness even to this day, but she's an old ass woman in real life. In her spirit, she's an old.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sit on the ground.
Sit on the ground. You know, because what are these other nations doing? They kind of marrying into American politics, American philosophies and all that.
Yeah.
You know, go ahead.
There is no throne.
What did it say? The kings have committed fornication with her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there's no throne, man. You know, there's no throne here for her. Because you know who sits, it was said, he that sits in the heavens shall laugh. He that sits on the throne. It talks about in Daniel how he's going to cast all these, the Ancient of Days, and his throne is going to cast down all the thrones of these nations. You know, taking all these kingdoms down. So America's going to be a prime example of all these other nations. A domino effect, pretty much. Go ahead.
Said, oh, daughter of the Chaldeans.
Daughter, what do they practice? Heavy magic.
Talking about that. Witchcraft.
Yeah, witchcraft. You know, the stronghold of Babylon and shit. You know, heavy witchcraft and shit. This is the Wizard of Oz, this place. This is Disneyland. You know what they doing in Disneyland? Behind closed doors. Trafficking, child trafficking and all that. You know, this place is set up with magic and shit like that. You got Hollywood, which goes back to Hollywood. You had the Apollo, which was a black version of is a black version of Hollywood. You know, with Black Boule, American Idol, you know, all this bullshit, man. Using the heavy use of AI in this place, the high technical world that we're moving into, away from the agricultural and natural world. You know, go ahead.
For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Thou shalt not no more be called. Because remember when we was called tender and delicate. See, the Most High took us through the mud and the trials and tribulation, trodden us down. Jerusalem was trodden down by the enemies. But now Most High is raising Jerusalem back up, and now she's the spectacle now of destruction. Because the Most High said he ain't going to destroy us utterly. You know? So now the tables are turning, about to turn. Go ahead.
They sit on that scripture.
No, it's a little bit more.
He's talking about after that. This verse 2. Take the millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers.
Yep.
Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen.
It's like it. And you know, that's heavy because, you know, Babylon, America, you know, is being exposed as being a whore. You know, like, you know how you got the E's out here, these whores out here, you know, they try to well, how should I put it? They try to
Cover themselves up.
make you know, when you first meet a
Make
chick,
it seem like
they seem like they ain't out there.
Yeah.
They ain't got a high body count.
Yeah.
You know, but then eventually they get exposed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might have people, man, yeah, man, I know her, you know, man,
Mm-hmm.
man, she been ran through, bro. You know, being exposed. Same thing with America. America's whoredom is being exposed, man.
That,
you know,
we was talking about that witchcraft. The power of America is dwindling. Like, it's circling the drain. I remember growing up as a young man in America. I'm like, man, this is a great country. You remember in second, third, fourth grade, you like, you feel good about being Americans. Now it's like they saying power is dwindling. It's losing strength. The witchcraft, all this being exposed, bro.
Now these women don't really say they ain't gonna have no shame. Now these women are saying that they're whores. They used to hide that shit. Like, I ain't slept with nobody. Now they be like body count and all that.
1,000 men challenge. 1,000 women, 100 a man in 24 hours.
So all the stuff that's coming out is substance in this. You know, it's like something inflated is gonna blow, man. It's gonna you can't like even like what's the most a man ever weighed? Probably 600 pounds. They said my 600. He ain't gonna get to the cell. He gonna die. He gotta, you know, it can't go on no more than, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, something gotta give, man. You know, even a Harlot that runs the block and runs a mouth, somebody gonna take her out. because she's spreading rumors, she's doing people dirty, she giving people diseases and shit. They're gonna be like, man, that bitch gave me a disease. I'm taking her out.
That's when we be coming to. It's a climax. We coming to that climax of America dwindling. We're not saying all the time, but throughout history, 250 years. Most kingdoms went down, and America's coming on 250 years next year. But we see the downfall. It's evident.
It's imminent. Yeah, well.
Yep.
I got some. Okay. I got this in Ezekiel 16.
So we don't want America's number. We don't want her digits.
Yeah.
You're living in a digital world. We don't want those digits.
What
That's
is
that
what
code.
is that? What is
That's that
that?
code. That secret you gotta have. I want to get a girl's number.
What's that in Psalm the 64th chapter? He said, "All that see them shall depart from them." You know, we see. We see. Oh man, I don't want nothing to do with that. You know, you know.
What did it say about our women? Her stink shall be discovered, and so now that's the curses are coming up on America. You know, her wig is coming off. She's a bald-headed hoe with a funk box, and she's old and shit. Go ahead.
This is Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 35. Wherefore, O harlot, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord power. Behold, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered through
Israel, right? It can relate to
it's like twofold.
Yeah.
You know, it says, because thy filthiness was poured out.
So that basically goes back to the scriptures, like look before pluck out the brother, see the plaque in thy brother's eye, examine thyself. So before we call America out, we gotta examine ourselves, make sure we straight.
You know that what happened to us. That's the only thing that brings us comfort about what happened to us is gonna happen to them. You know,
because we had that law. It's a law that says you shall. We read it. It's the harlot shall burn. So America, she's gonna burn because she's a harlot, and she come under the laws of the Most High in a way that she took it upon herself to use this as the book of the land. Go ahead. 1983. Go ahead.
It says, because thy filthiness was poured out and thy nakedness discovered.
Yeah, her nakedness is discovered. And it's discovered through TikTok. It's discovered through YouTube. It's discovered through all these platforms. It's discovered in the presence of people. They got whistleblowers. In the army, they got whistleblowers telling on Trump and telling on all these congressmen and shit. So they being exposed, man.
So the kingdom divided against itself can't stand.
Yeah.
Trump, Elon Musk, Trump.
Yeah, and they find out the government is doing all this poisoning and shit, doing all this GMO shit behind these chemicals and this air pollution, whatever. The body, because they ain't doing shit about this stuff, man. Like America be bombing people, right? Well, why don't y'all bomb these child traffickers, these human organ harvesting shit? Why don't y'all what they got? They got that they brought back the execution of open fire or something like that. Where they just you in this chair and they strap down and they just shoot your ass.
Yeah.
Why don't they put that fear on the people that be child trafficking and shit? Why don't they kill some of these rats that they found underground that didn't molest these children and shit? Why don't they open fire on their asses? Mm-hmm. They open fire on Jake and shit. Or give him an electric chair. I ain't never seen no fucking rat executed and shit, man. Or fired at, man. Or even going to prison, man. What the fuck is that about, man? That's how you know Most High is gonna take them down. They hypocrites. They protect these devils. Go ahead.
Says
they don't want to get mad at us because we telling the truth. Yeah.
And thy nakedness discovered through thy whoredoms with thy lovers.
Wait, hold on. Through thy whoredoms, man. You're a whore. Not a kingdom, a whoredom. Whoredoms. Let's hoard them all over this place and shit. Everybody got a proposition. Everybody got this and that. A poor, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn. We standing on corner now, like Apostle Gabar said, we prostitutes for the Most High. We got to stand before the Most High, and our asses is showing because we shouldn't have to do this. You know?
I said the foolishness of preaching. The foolishness of preaching.
We talking to the wind, man.
Yeah.
You be like, they don't got a crowd. Where's your church?
Like they done been out here all year, every weekend. Like ain't nobody still went out there. We've been about 5 people that came out here.
Lord told us he could get a warning for me whether they here for a burial.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It says, thy whores with thy lovers and all the idols of thy abominations.
All the idols of American Idol, all the idols of your abominations. All this is idol. You'll say, even with these artists that are looked up to, like Jay-Z, Diddy, well, they falling. Look at these harlots, these Cardi B. She can do no wrong. She'll say something to a man, cuss him out, and they be like, and do all this shit, and they'll still big up because they idolize her and shit. They idolize Lil' Kim, they idolize Sukihana and them, so they can never do no wrong. But let it be the so-called black man. This nigga going down and shit. He done did Cassie like that. Cassie's a fucking harlot, man. She done slept with all kind of niggas in the industry, man. Passed around, along with these other women that they said, Mary J. Blige would never do that. She's in church and all that. So the church is full of harlotry. They said they assemble themselves in harlots' houses, man. That's the churches. That's why you got all that adultery happening in the church. Pastors sleeping with this woman and this, Going back to that Vampire in Brooklyn and shit.
Oh man.
Evil is good. Evil. Pastor got him with some good piece of
box.
Something to that effect. That was some good piece of box that pastor got. Go ahead.
It says, behold, therefore I will gather all thy lovers with whom thou hast taken pleasure.
Yeah, all the lovers of these other nations that have other philosophies and shit, that eat abominable foods, that have us going off, man. Most High said he's going to gather all of them. Go ahead.
And all them that thou hast loved.
Because Israel loved them, man. Israel fell in love with their way there. What they say, and they saying that's not Christmas and shit. It ain't called Christmas, you dumbasses, but that's the same practices. You know what I'm saying? That car can be called a vehicle and shit. It's the same shit. It could be called a chariot and shit. Chariot has wheels on it, but it's spiritual chariots too, man. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So it says a man cut it, don't follow the ways of the heathen, for they cut the tree out of the forest and deck it with silver. That's fucking Christmas, man.
Yep. And in old Rome, they used to call it Saturnalia.
Mm-hmm.
So, Saturn worship, worship of the planet, stars. Mm-hmm. This is why they put a star at the top of the tree, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they do that kind of stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going back to Roman pagan worship.
Mercury and Jupiter. And
yep. You're going to worship a damn rock? Fuck wrong with y'all, man.
Yeah, man. They worship the moon and all that. Most High said, don't worship those things.
They worship the creature over the creator.
Yeah, worship the creature more than the creator.
Yeah. And creature goes back to creation. So that's why I be talking about, you got some certain people who believe that the Most High and the Son are the same. No. It says that the Yahweh is the first creature of the Heavenly Father.
Yep. Go ahead.
It says, I will even gather them round about against thee.
Because what does it say also? There's a spiritual body and there's the natural body.
Yep. And 1 Corinthians 15:40.
So he was the first spiritual creature made of the Most High.
You got the celestial and then the terrestrial.
Yep. Go ahead.
I will even gather them round about against thee.
Around about against thee. And those nations are listed in Psalm 83 too. And the Most High said he'll send a nation, will not disregard the young or old, a fierce nation, of countenance, fierce countenance, of hard language paraphrasing. Go ahead.
And I will discover thy nakedness unto them.
Yeah, because Israel is butt naked out there. Like when they see us on our people on TikTok doing nigga shit, they gonna be like, ah, look, that's Israel. They don't say Israel, but they was like, that's them niggas.
World Star.
Yeah, World Star. What's another? YouTube, TikTok, Twitter.
Yeah, they basically made our lives and our trauma a joke.
Yeah,
if it's like something funny, man.
First 48.
Yep.
Cops. Yeah, they see that as entertainment. Like, I can't believe it. And then or they get called a nigga again, and so they protest. You want rights, and they like. I bet the Edomites be like, when will these niggas understand they ain't never gonna get no rights?
They ain't gonna never get no rights because you out here trying to do that, and at the same time you out here showing your ass.
Yeah,
it's not gonna work.
You're trying to jump a wall with skinny jeans on and you can't even barely move.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got, they setup where they got bricks laying right there for you and shit, just to start off the riot and shit. Oh, yeah, pile of bricks.
You got this nigga over here like, get your bricks here, get your bricks. Like, Jake, like, let me get 2 of them. He done bought them. Let me get 2 of them for $5. Yeah. Took that hoe, threw it at the police station and shit.
And he's on camera. Shit. They got cameras everywhere, Jake. Like, people use their cameras on their phones now. So you robbing a bank and shit. You on 40.
Somebody just done. Yeah. What the hell is this?
You on 50 people's phones and shit. They can turn your ass into the police and shit. Go ahead.
Verse 38. He said, "And I will judge thee as the woman that break wedlock."
Yeah, because you're not a harlot for real. You're a woman that broke wedlock. You was a woman that committed to laws and statutes and commandments. But you out there flossing your ass like you ain't got no husband. Most High is your husband. So they be like, that's like a woman lying. Like, I don't got no husband. But you know damn well. She got into an argument, went to the bar, and she'll, it's a phrase that they kind of use. Like, yeah, I ain't, fuck that nigga. I ain't got no husband. It's complicated, But they'll say they ain't got no husband too. And then you go, oh, okay, baby. And then if he does get caught up in her shit where he'll have to see a man and they get into it, you know what she gonna say? I just said that.
You had a man.
No, she gonna say I just said that because I was mad, I was angry. So you supposed to excuse that anger too when they fuck around or something like that. Oh, why'd you sleep with them? Oh, because you called me a bitch that night, so I just I don't see it as I just got it back at you. So can we work it out now? Like, come on, man. Go ahead.
It says,
so you breaking wedlock, Israel. Jeremiah 3 and 14 says you married into the Most High. So that's you as a nation. You just can't go off and try to, sleep around. You're a woman that's married. So Most High going to destroy you, that part that's not, and bid them not to marry. Remember that? So it's gonna be a second marriage, but it's how you remarry your woman and shit. Most High gonna marry us, but the elect. That 2/3 is gonna be that old bride that's gonna be done away with. Go ahead.
He says, "And I will also give thee into their hand."
He gonna give you into their hands, the enemy's hand. And the main enemy is the so-called white man. And you see that everywhere. You can't go to there's no black community. That's a figment of somebody's imagination. That's black relation. That's their shit. You don't see that in your own neighborhoods, among your own people. Go ahead.
He says, "And they shall throw down thy eminent place."
Yep.
"And shall break down thy high places."
Yep.
"They shall strip thee also of thy clothes."
We was high. I mean, it says set your light up on the hill. We were the beauty, and we were like looking down at these other nations. Now it's the opposite. We looking at China building a great wall of China and shit. America, the great wall of building walls and great the towers and all that.
You're on the golden dome.
Yeah,
missile defense system. Yeah. Building a wall, the wall and the borders.
Mm-hmm. the greatness of this place have expanded. Even in Jake's mind, he'd be like, damn, America is great. They got all this technology. How do they do it? How do they make it? How do they, I'm joining them. They're promote the military. That's greatness. We need a few good men, and they all sharp, all in tune, got suits on, and you know what I'm saying, marching and shit. You be like, man, I want to be a part of that. But when you see the prophets, you be thinking like we just niggas and shit.
Yep.
We soldiers too, but we on the right hand side. Go ahead.
So they shall strip thee also thy clothes, and shall take thy pair of jewels, and leave thee naked.
Yeah, because Most High fixed us up. We were the people, man. You know how it was a Martin episode. He was like, Martin won something, a lottery or something. And they came and stripped him and took his rings off and shit. That's how the Most High doing Israel. Like, look at it. All that showing off shit. Strip your, you know what I'm saying? Strip your jewels off, your diadem off, your diamonds and shit, your gems and shit. Take all that shit off. Like, no, you gonna be butt naked and shit.
Now we got it rocks and shit.
Yeah, you know how it feels when you're butt naked, you know. You butt naked, you can imagine being butt naked out there and you ain't got no clothes to wear and shit.
Hey, but he still love Israel. It's some clean ass rocks though. Yeah.
It's spiritual gems and rocks though, man.
Yeah.
We still those people though. We still get fly though.
Yeah, we stylists, we just do it cheap now.
Yeah.
We ain't got no money like that. You know what I'm saying? We keep it on the budget. Because we want to represent, we in mourning right now, man. We ain't glad to be in this position. We want to get up out of here, man.
Where they having those songs, it's hard to make $1 out of 15 cents. Like, damn, that's low.
You gotta hustle 4-5 more jakes to get you down.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yep. And so they shall also bring up.
Hey, Jake got these rappers when they come to certain states, they got to tuck their chain in because they might get snatched.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm just gonna have to not even wear mine. Shoot, I can't tuck this thing. They'll be like, "What is that under your shirt, man?"
Go ahead.
Yep. And they shall also bring up a company against thee.
Yep.
And they shall stone thee. And they shall stone thee with stones and thrust thee through with their swords.
Yeah. Well, that's
Oslaki. Well, that's that's also talking about Babylon.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen to
them. They gonna say strip thee bird. That's that
company
desert.
of these nations are gonna come against her.
Yeah.
And stone her with the missiles and shit.
Yep. Like as the whore, like he said, that was that 38th verse. I would judge thee as a woman in wedlock. Being what they're stoned. And burnt up. Yeah, so that's the missiles, man. Penetrating this place.
I got it right here. We just speaking about. This is Revelation 17:16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast.
What are the 10 horns?
Nations.
What are they? Nations.
Germany.
Yep.
Yeah, Germany.
You got written. Yeah, all these. I'm just being blank.
Portugal.
Yeah. Netherlands, Belgium,
Portugal,
Spain.
Yep. Portugal, Spain. You right. Yep.
France.
Yeah. France. These EU companies. These EU countries. Yeah. European Union.
Go ahead.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
That's what they doing. They hating the whore.
And the beast, NATO and the EU combined. It's a conglomerate group about, you was a little bit less, but now we about 29, 30 countries that is with this conglomeration of nations, and they're going to hate this whore, man.
Yeah. Hate America.
Hate America, Babylon the Great.
And the BRICS, they doing their own thing, They're not with NATO, but, they set up too for Most High's purpose of what he wants to have prophesied against America. So you had the NATO and the EU, the NATO, the military, part of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Then you had EU, the European Union. And you had that in, what was that, 1949?
Yeah, 1949. Yeah, that's the NATO, and the EU was 1957.
Yeah.
Treaty of Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Treaty around 1957.
Yep.
And then you had that forming and all that, and then you had the American colonies come over here, the Britain colonies, and what did America do? She broke off from Britain, so to speak, with the 4th of July shit. You know what I'm saying? Independence Day. You know,
Independence Day, and
now,
that's that signifying divided Rome, as it says in Daniel with the statue, iron and potter's clay. You know.
Yep. Some was miry clay. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, weak. Some of the strong. Go ahead.
These shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked.
Make it how they go. Desolate and naked, man. This place is going to be bombed, and it is going to be naked all across the land. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Bare, butt naked, without no resources, without no inhabitants, without no, you know what I'm saying? Nothing's going to be here. No financial trade gain or nothing.
Dirt bag.
Yeah.
And these elites and stuff, they known that it's supposed to come here in America.
Yeah,
that's why you got these bunkers and leaving.
They know. Because then you know who it says when these things, you see these things, who could but prophesy? And it also says back then they feared the prophets. Even the kings listened to the prophets because they knew some stuff. Like Nebuchadnezzar, he listened to Daniel.
What's that? In Jeremiah said the king of Babylon have heard their report.
Ordered them.
And he was shaking. His hands was
wax feeble.
Wax feeble.
And that's how the kings are today. That's how the Edomites are today. They like, man, because they know, man. They understand reincarnation and stuff, man.
Go ahead.
That's why they got the capsules. You know how they will put the capsules in the ground and 100 years later find them. They will put all in there all the stuff that they learned from basically us. You know, so they can carry on and be like, okay, this is not my last time. And that's why they made movies like Assassin's Creed, stuff like that, where he was like going back and remembering his ancestors was him. You know, that's why they do that stuff, because they know that's how it is in real life, man. That's why they spend billions of dollars to portray that kind of stuff, man.
That's why Putin could do nothing but bring out the icons.
Couldn't do nothing but bring out the icons, man.
You don't think he listened to the prophets?
Yep, they buried that stuff, and it was like, I know last time I was here, I had to have been listening to him, man. Just like we are today. We ain't the only ones that's one in whose names is not written in the book, man.
That's crazy.
Everybody is.
Yeah.
You know?
They had a skit, I don't know if y'all seen it, of Richard Pryor, and they hid that book of our book, our story book, historical book in the caves, and Richard Pryor found it. He was like, "Oh, we were bad people, man. I can't wait to tell people this." So they trapped him in the cave with the book, so he wouldn't tell nobody. He's like, "We were gods, man. We did everything. We created this and Negroes. These is all us." And then they looked at each other like they trapped him in the cave. So that's letting you know they hide, like you said, they hide stuff in those caves. And go back to it later.
Yep. They go back. They had their sons go back and dig it out. He'd be like, "This is what my father was looking for. This is what he was talking about," and it'd probably be his ass.
Yep.
You know, after he like, you know, because like, you know how they'd be like, somebody's grandfather. They'd be like, some baby, have a baby like he acted like his grandfather. That's probably his ass come back to fulfill his lot, man. To fulfill his destiny, which is to whatever the Lord wanted him to do, man.
And that's, you remember, we always going into the times people getting weaker and weaker. Back then, when they were digging up mummies, the bodies was still intact a lot of times.
Yep. Because
they lived longer and they was healthier and all that.
Yep.
Now the body is decomposed quick. Because it's most sides wrapping this shit up. It ain't no life no more on this place. But through these scriptures, but through the Yahweh Yahushai. Go ahead.
I got a little one more scripture.
I got one too.
Ezekiel. It says, verse 41, "And they shall burn down houses with fire."
Did you finish that other scripture you was going? Because you said,
verse 40.
No, he was Shaddam was reading. They shall hate the Lord. Did you finish it?
Yeah. He said, "Leave the desolate naked with fire."
Okay.
Read
that part again.
It said, "They shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire."
What's coming to this place? Fire, man. You know, fire, like Sarah Connor style. I like saying that, Sarah Connor style. You know, go ahead.
All right. It says, and they shall burn down houses with fire and execute judgments upon
Well,
thee.
you gotta go before that.
Yeah, okay. Verse 40, it says, they shall also bring up a company against thee, and they shall stone thee with stones, and thrust thee through with their swords. And they shall burn down houses with fire, which prove that those missiles, those stones and those swords are missiles, man. You know, it said, and they shall burn down houses with fire and execute judgments upon thee in the sight of many women.
And they did that to us back then.
Good.
So now we get to be the judges to see it happen to them.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you gonna make the movie Lion King? Y'all think ain't gonna come back? Come on, man. Come on, man. It's full circle.
Yep.
2nd Ezra 5:42. We always talk about it. Lord's judgment is a ring, man.
And remember,
You think he ain't gonna deal with his people like that, but he ain't gonna deal with these heathens like that, man? He gonna take these people out, man.
And remember, they laughed at us.
Yeah.
Even during the time of Moses and all that. They laughed when they set mockery in the earth.
Yeah.
Even when Moses slew the Egyptian, for his own people. They mock now. They mock the reincarnation of Moses.
Yeah.
They mock the reincarnation of John the Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
So what's gonna happen to them? Most High is letting us back off. Most High will, and we're gonna see this harlot burn like we used to see our children burn in the face of in the eyes of of them. They used to burn us and shit.
Yeah. And this time when we come back, we ain't gonna be making no jokes. It's gonna be all jokes aside. Ain't gonna be no laughing. You get your ass toe up. What the fuck y'all did to Israel?
They think it's a game.
It ain't gonna be no damn laughing. Ain't nobody gonna be laughing.
It said those that laugh gonna be mourning.
It's gonna be serious.
We're gonna be laughing.
We gonna
No
be laughing.
jokes,
The righteous shall rejoice when they see the vengeance.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna be no laughing like that, man. It said that we'll be up in the chariots, immortal in fear of the sight of the Heavenly Father. We ain't gonna be laughing. He said the day of vengeance in his heart. He's pissed off, man.
We're gonna have
Ain't nobody gonna laughing,
Most
man.
High will. He's gonna have us laughing down here. When we go up there, it's gonna be our business.
Hey, it's gonna be a business,
Father.
man.
But if you see a wig pass on fire and a woman that didn't cuss the prophets out, you gonna laugh like
He said, I'm gonna laugh when mock when your fear coming.
your calamity coming.
Yeah, and the Lord's laughing and mocking. It could be, physical laughing, or it could be just,
Well, get that scripture.
it might not even be on that level. It's just saying like, he's just like, ha ha, motherfucker. That don't mean he actually
The last
laughed.
laugh.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we
But
I'm just trying
Apostle Tar said, "Hey, we're gonna have Most High gonna let us have fun."
Yeah.
When we come against
because
them.
I want to drop some pianos and some Edomites.
Yeah, that's gonna be funny to us. Just like them cartoons when
Shit.
Bugs Bunny snatching the hammer over the over his head and shit. You be laughing. That's why I love using like cartoons.
You know what I'm
Motherfucker was crazy.
saying?
Look at this clown.
Big cartoon.
Because that's like the worst way to. You going through all that shit, then you got people laughing at you. Oh man, that's like and then you can't. You know how we used to get in trouble. So like we used to get in trouble back then. You get laughed at. You be wanting to punch them in the face.
Yeah.
But see, they ain't gonna be able to do that. So that's gonna be like vexing as fuck, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
But like
go ahead.
Like you said, they've been laughing at us this whole time. They've been laughing at us.
Yeah.
These the God's children. This him. This him. This is he.
They said we're gonna be set up as a mockery. Go to that scripture right quick. It says, "He that sits on the throne shall laugh." And the Most High is gonna laugh through us too.
Yeah, it's gonna be through us.
We're gonna be laughing. No, those that weep, they shall laugh. Those that laugh shall weep.
They've been laughing at us, fucking up on World Star all the time.
Yeah.
It's gonna be their turn.
We're gonna be looking at hologram. I don't know. I'm just speaking as a man.
Yeah.
And we're gonna, I'm speaking as a man too. Like that, least are proud and all that. And we're gonna bind their kings and nobles and princes and all that. But we're gonna beat them back down to the caveman state.
Yeah, man. So like they're not gonna even be speaking.
Yeah, they're gonna be running back and forth. We're gonna be laughing. They're gonna be our entertainment.
Yeah, we're gonna be mocking up what it said in Isaiah 14. Is this the man?
Yeah.
I go. Is this the man that destroyed worlds?
And you never know. Our children might ask that. Daddy, is this the man that y'all took down?
Be like, yeah, you was best friends with.
Yeah.
2/3. Shit. Yeah, I was your homeboy then. We took him and you there.
Telling Lil Wayne, you see what he said?
You see what we was talking about? Yes, Daddy. That's what's coming. Yeah, I don't know which one of his is gonna be one of the 100.4 leg kids. It's gonna be one of them.
And everybody like, yeah, Lil Wayne, I don't want Lil Wayne as my child.
Unless he repent.
But yeah, but I'm just saying, like, y'all thinking about the now Lil Wayne. But when he was young, he was a decent, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he wasn't
a decent
horrible.
Hebrew child and shit, man.
Yeah, he was probably a good child.
Yeah,
like,
definitely smart.
Because the Lord said he gonna wipe away their tears, but it talked about how like they would loathe in their sins. They gonna loathe in their sins for a second. But the Lord gonna wipe all the tears away, they gonna be good, man. So but they gonna always remember, man.
They're gonna be good.
Because the book is gonna be in stone, man. That's gonna be written forever. So there's always gonna be that understanding of why you ain't sitting in the council seat. Why you ain't sitting with the prophets.
Well, that's why it's so important. This time is so important because things are being written as we speak. That's why it says, pray that you rejoice, you know, that your names are written in heaven more than you having that spiritual power.
What he said in the day, he said, some to wake up in the city, those in the dust, some waking up to everlasting shame.
Yeah, just to know that you waking up and you sitting with all the brothers who serve the Lord, man, you good forever, and your name is never gonna be tarnished ever, forever, man. And you was put at the highest of the highest of men.
That's what's happening.
Well, I was shot, man. That ain't nothing better than
what's gonna matter the most?
We gotta want to be there, man. You know?
Go ahead.
You know, I was gonna say what matters the most about it is that you endure to the end.
Yep.
You know, because you got many a car, few choking. Not you got dudes out here that that's in the camp that you would think the real man, the true man of the Lord. But sure, the Lord take that spirit from him and he fall out. He ain't dirt. So that's what's gonna matter the most. That's what's really gonna be, put on the spotlight. And that you endure to the what's that in second Esdras at the crowning ceremony? What the Esdras say? He said, I commend them greatly commend them and stood so steady.
That real challenge is gonna be when the famine of the word comes, because that's when it's gonna get real. That's how when you're gonna really see that trial.
I think, speaking as a man too, I think the spiritual power is going to happen simultaneously around close to that time.
Yep, and that's what I was, that's what I was, kind of going into, like in that time, you know how like when you got a wedding or a party you finna go to, you get pumped up, you be like, oh man, like we finna go, it's gonna be lit, that's how we gonna be whenever that time goes down, because that's what we waiting on, we waiting on the destruction of America. We waiting on the Lord.
That's why it talks about.
So we're gonna be definitely.
That's why it talks about the bridegroom. He knocketh, and those who open up immediately. Like I said, an example of when you come home and your woman, she's in there and she's like, oh, hold on, and she's like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What's taking you so long?
Hold on.
You should open up immediately. You should have been waiting for me. I told you when I was going to be home. You should have took a shower and handled your business. If you want to see me, if you love me and want to see me, you waiting at the door. Like,
hell, you should have ran out the door before I tried to knock on the door.
Supposed to meet me.
Yeah, in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Shit. The virgin, the wives was waiting on the bridegroom to come in at midnight. They was waiting already.
Exactly.
I see this one Edomite couple. Every time he came home, his wife would come out the house and run and grab him and hug him and shit. That's a heathen relationship. How you think we supposed to be like with the Most High, man? You're supposed to be running out and greeting. They come in like, I got this set up for you. I got this set up for you. That's how we got to be with the Most High.
It's not all the subject, Slovakia.
No,
it's a new Marvel movie, the Fantastic Four, a new one, supposedly. And you know about the rise of the Silver Surfer, though. Basically, when the Silver Surfer came, he was ushering in Galactus.
Yeah.
And Galactus basically like movie symbolic to like the heaven, you know what I'm saying? But basically, like the Silver Surfer basically like representing the Lord coming. He was ushering the most like the kingdom shift.
Yeah.
Galactus, the preparation. Galactus, he was like the planet eater, something destroyer, or something like that. So that basically going on, we ushering the Lord coming back. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
marriage. The
marriage ceremony.
And we bidding people to the marriage.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I got this one, almost there. Just going into the judgment. Revelation chapter 20, verse 12. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before the Most High, and the books were opened, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. You know, so that's what we in right now. We in that time of judgment, man. And the books have been opened, and the ones that are receiving life are understanding the scriptures, man. And the ones that are dead, they are getting judged because of the life that is being sprang out of this word, man. They're being judged. You know,
what it say to the prophets? Things that thou seest, write it in the book. So, you know, the angels are reporting to the Most High. So we're doing things in the body that, you know what I'm saying, we're sowing to. It says, who that sow, which reap. So we're sowing, you know, things in this life that's going to come out, you know, in the life to come. You know, so when we meet the Most High and stand before the Most High, what did it say? So you could be prepared to stand before the Most High. I mean, before His glory, to be accepted. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to. It's just like your wives and stuff, and one of them committed adultery, and then she got that guilty face, and then the man comes home, and the other women be like, maybe scared for her ass because she gonna get thrown out.
Yep, and
to the pit. She gonna get thrown out to the fire.
Yep.
And she try to be like, oh, so all my wives are good now. Anything happened when I was gone? And then you gotta step forward, you know, and you gotta be examined. And that woman that went off, she gonna be, and then the other women, like, they glad just to be with the husband and shit. But when, you know, you gonna be good when you, hey, Most High will, we get caught up in the chair, we're gonna be just glad to be with the Most High. Yahweh Shai, we ain't gonna worry about other 2/3 and shit. Checking on out. What about, we ain't gonna even mention them. What about the 2/3? Nah, they done. They gonna come back anyway. So why would we worry about them? Go ahead.
Verse 13, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged every man according to their works. Verse 14, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire.
Yeah, that's going into, we could, you know.
This is the second death.
Yeah. But, you know, how could death and hell be cast in the lake of fire if the lake of fire is hell and shit?
Yeah, because it said
make that make sense.
It said Esau Edom his desire is as hell. Right. You know? So yeah, you know, and so it's just basically going into conditions or the grave, the conditions of the grave.
Yeah, Babylon.
You know?
Babylon is gonna be cast into the
hell's a condition.
That's why they call it, that's why they call this place white man, so-called white man's heaven, so-called black man's hell. You know, and then you got the actual grave. That's hell, man. Yep. Because you know, that's hellish for a righteous man to die. Because we are embedded. The law is embedded in our heritage, man. The law is really what we are. You know, that's why he said he's gonna put it in us. So whenever we die, it's because we transgress the law. So that's hell for us, man. We supposed to be gods. We're not supposed to be dying this stuff.
It says Yahweh Shai, the last death, the last enemy is death. Yeah. And Yahweh Shai conquered that. He said, "What death was thy victory? O grave was thy victory. Death was thy state." Yep. So we ain't supposed to die, man.
Yep.
But by these sins, you know, we got into these everlasting chains of darkness. And we, you know, it says, "Ye are God, but you shall die by men." As men.
But we hoping that we dodge that ultimate judgment, that second death, man. Then missiles hitting the man from Babylon the Great, man. And it's gonna be an exchange of missiles. There's gonna be other places they get hit too. That's why brothers around the four corners of the earth got to get pulled up too, because it's gonna be all types of stuff, radioactive, 100-foot tsunamis, and all types of stuff happening when the missiles hit, man. You don't want to be here. Leviathan coming out. Yeah, Leviathan gonna start a fucking tsunami itself when it come out of the motherfucking water, man.
And you know we're like as the champions right now, you know, because this is the last. This is the championship, you know. So what is
Game 7?
There you go. There you go. Game 7. Hey, it's the finals, you know. So it's like. when what is that? What it say when they stood? They in Revelation they
See a glass.
see a glass. It said they have it spoke out how they got the victory.
Mm.
You know, this victory over
by
what?
the blood of Lamb.
Right.
Got victory over the
Beast,
you know,
beast, numbers, name.
And that makes sense why they do game 7, because they so 7 means completion.
complete game.
They know that, man. Complete other games.
That's
man.
why this last chess piece this is it. They like the MOTB is the last chess piece. That's a video.
Right after the 666, we in game 6 right now.
Yep.
And we finna hit game 7, man. As soon as they make that
And
game
what?
7, y'all
If you ain't playing hard, most times gonna take you out the game.
He gonna take out the game. He gonna be on the bench.
Or you missing too many shots. You missing too many videos. Most times gonna take you out the
videos.
game.
You ain't coming to camp. You ain't reporting to the elders and apostles. You ain't giving to the brotherhood. You ain't helping out the tabernacle. What you here for? You know? You even got the fans when they go to the games. What they do? They pay for a ticket. They contribute. They buy food. That all goes to the stadium, to the game, to the players. That's what makes them to where they can make their money, man. So that's the same way.
And we got, and it's a business. I was trying to say, it shall be not by my father's business.
Yep.
So we owe the Most High. We was bought with a price.
Yep.
So you know, we ain't going the chip way because that's a different transaction, digital transaction of the beast.
Yep.
So we going the Most High's way, where is a spiritual transaction of His holiness to get into them ships.
Yep.
So you either go one way or the other. Ain't no in between. Most High don't say no lukewarm.
When that whore gives you that number, you take that number, you give her a call.
Yep.
Check that 50C13.
Don't answer that phone call.
Yeah, you don't answer that phone call. Don't even text her, man, because she got your number.
Yeah. But
She gonna call.
In the Matrix, when they answer the phone call, they disappeared into the Matrix.
Yeah, like we gone.
Soon as you take the call, so don't even answer that.
Gone. Don't even answer that bitch.
Y'all dodge bill collectors. You better dodge this bill collector.
You better not.
The bill collector this time
is coming for
your soul and shit.
Same shit.
Purchase. And it's already Jason said they didn't sold their soul for the devil.
Yep.
So it's a lot of these celebrities and already got the MOTB.
Yep.
They done already got the chip.
I believe Dwayne Wade got it. He ain't so different. He ain't so different.
Because you remember it's a radio frequency. So that means that we know that the frequency, like we talked about how when you write certain stuff on the water, it changes you. Like they can control you, change your emotions, everything.
That's what the Neuralink is with Elon Musk. He actually trying to control your brain cells.
That's why they said that a lot of people gonna kill the prophets of the Most High, and they're gonna think to do service because they're gonna have them like robots, and they really ain't gonna want to do it.
Yeah, y'all don't believe in that cyborg shit?
Because by the time the famine of the word come, ain't nobody gonna want to go against the prophets, man. Ain't nobody gonna want to, but the Lord gonna make their ass, man.
Right.
So they chose their side, man.
Yep. And you gonna be rolling with your homie one day. Y'all gonna be smoking weed, and y'all gonna be drinking liquor, and y'all gonna be swerving to the curb. And guess what? You gonna look at your homie and like, what is that? He's like, yeah, this is a chip, man.
Yeah.
You gonna experience that shit, man. A regular dude and shit.
In this lifetime, man. Yep. It ain't gonna be no 20 years from now, man. Yep. We got that coming soon, man.
Yep.
We got that coming soon. They just said all the entertainment, they are not taking cash no more, man. So they're already starting to retrieve the money because they know most people want to go to that stuff. So what are they gonna do? They're gonna put their money in there, and then they're gonna start going trickling down to the banks, smaller banks. To where you got to go all the way digital. Once we get there, man, famine of the word is gonna be right around the corner.
So don't get her digits, man. Fuck that Harlot.
Bitcoin right now.
Go ahead.
Bitcoin right now is 105,000. Basically went up plus 1,000. Basically it's 100. It's 6 figures right now. Bitcoin, one Bitcoin.
And that's you know, that it used to be only 50, and it dropped down to 20. It went to 20, 30 to 100,000. So we know that what they finna do, they finna go digital, man. Yeah. That's what we was telling you, man.
We close out. What do they say? America is the Harlot. Don't get her digits.
Yeah.
And don't call them. Don't accept no calls from them. Hang up on the ass. Avoid her calls. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I was thinking of too, we want virgins. We don't want harlots. So we want those 5 virgins that are going into those ships with Yahweh shot. That's the kind of virgins we want to be around. So Most High is back to that. We don't want harlots, man. We don't want the harlot America. We don't even want harlot of our own women, man. So with that, you know, we're gonna give foremost all praises to Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops, great men, stone, much citation, brothers, too. Teaching the word with a hopeful elect, you know, with sincerity, the hopeful extended elect, Shalom. And like we said, that digits is a short word for digital, too. And they go into the digital world with the digital RFID, which is MOTB. So don't take it. Shalom. We out.
Shalom. Hey, Jay getting lightheaded.